Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel Biology Solution Point. In my previous video, we discussed about the karyokinesis, means the division of nucleus. Now we are moving forward, and throughout this video we discuss about the cytokinesis, means the process of division of cytoplasm. So let's get started. So students, today we are going to discussing the cytokinesis, which is the last phase of cell cycle or the last part of the cell division. Cytokinesis, which means the division of cytoplasm. Division of cytoplasm. Now, the division of cytoplasm is basically occurred by the two different methods. Okay, now these two different methods is completely based upon the types of cell. Okay, so the first method is called cell furrow method, and another one is called cell plate method. So basically, cytokinesis or the division of cytoplasm is occur either by the cell furrow method or by the cell plate method. Now, cell furrow method is usually occur in the animal cell, and cell plate method is occur in the plant cell. Okay, so we are going to discuss the cell furrow method. Now, cell furrow method or the cytokinesis is a start from the end of telophase, and at the end of the telophase, an animal cell has two nucleus, right? And I'm not going to draw the centrosome because now there is no need. So after the telophase, the cell membrane of the animal cell is start moving inward. Okay, due to that it form a kind of a notch. That notch is called furrow. That's why this method is called cell furrow method. Now whenever both of the notches are going to be touch each other, then the cell is split or divided into two different daughter cells. So in this way, the cytokinesis is going to be completed in animal cell. As in animal cell, the outer covering is only the cell membrane, which is quite flexible in nature. That's why after the telophase, it start moving inward and form a furrow, and after some time, it split into the two daughter cells. So in this way, the cell furrow method is done in the animal cell. So now we are going to discussing the cell plate method. Okay, now basically the cell plate method is occur in a plant cell. So I'm going to draw the plant cell. Now, plant cell having a two kind of outer covering. The outer one is the hard and dead, which we call the cell wall, and the inner one is the flexible covering, which we call the cell membrane. So, at the end of a telophase, a plant cell consists of two nucleus, right? Now, after the telophase, we start moving towards the cytokinesis. Now, one more thing, student. Only the cytokinesis is the process which make a difference in between the animal and plant cell division, where the karyokinesis is completely similar in both of the kind of a cell. Okay, so there is no difference between the karyokinesis, only there is a difference between the cytokinesis in animal and plant cell. Clear? So after the telophase in plant cell, the dictyosomes which are already floating in a plant cell. They start dead or degenerating and collecting at the middle of a cell. Okay, now what are the dictyosomes? So if you remember, then in animal cell Golgi body is present, and in plant cell at the place of a Golgi body dictyosomes are present. So dictyosomes are start collecting at the middle of a cell, and that is called cell plate. Okay, now the time one by one the dictyosomes are start collecting, likewise this, and enlarge the cell plate which moving towards the periphery. Now whenever that cell plate touches the cell membrane, and then after some time the cell wall, then the plant cell is divided into two daughter cells. Okay, so it is very easy that in plant cell, the dictyosomes which are present in the cytoplasm of a plant cell are going to be dead and start cementing at the middle of a cell. Okay, just to equalize the amount of a cytoplasm. That's why they are going to be cementing at the middle of a cell, right? So at the middle of a cell, and slowly that cell plate start moving towards the periphery, and whenever it reaches to the cell wall on both of the sides, then from that part the cell is going to be split or divide into the two daughter cells. So in this way the cell plate method is going to be completed in the plant cell. So now we are going to differentiate the cell furrow and cell plate method. So now we are going to differentiate the cell furrow and cell plate method. Okay. Now the first point, it occurs in animal cell. Here it occurs in plant cell. Second one, in cell furrow method, cytoplasm is divided from outward to inward. Okay, where in the case of cell plate method, cytoplasm is divided from inward to outward. As in that point, whenever the cytokinesis take place in animal cell, the furrow formation is take place, of course. So here, due to the furrow, the cell membrane is moving towards inside of a cell. That's why from outside to inside the cytoplasm is going to be divided. Where in the case of a cell plate method, or in the case of a plant cell, the cell plate is formed inside the cell which moving outside. So here in the plant cell, the cytokinesis take place, or we can say that in cell plate method, the cytokinesis take place from inside towards the outside, where in the case of the cell furrow method, it take place from outside towards the inside. Okay, and the third one, which is the very obvious point, that furrow formation take place when here cell plate formation take place. Clear? So these all are the points which make the difference between the cell furrow and a cell plate method. Okay, so this diagram is indicating the complete cell cycle. So here is the complete interphase, which is divided into three main phases, G1, S and G2 phase, and that part is indicating the M phase. So this is our completely the M phase, where that rest of the part is indicating the interphase. Okay, now the interphase including its G1, S and G2 phase. In G1 phase, a cell is going to become where all over the cell organelles are going to be double and the cell enlarge in size. Okay, where in the S phase, synthesis of DNA take place, by which the chromosomes are going to be X in shape. And then in G2 phase, where the RNA and the protein synthesis take place for the cell division. And then it entered into the M phase. So here is the mitosis, which is the prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Now prophase is going to be occur where due to the disappearance of the cell. The prophase is started with the disappearance of a nuclear membrane and the condensation of a chromatin reticulum and the movement of its centrosome. Where the metaphase, all the chromosomes are lie at its middle plate and spindle fiber formation take place. Where in the case of an anaphase, the non-sister chromatids are going to be divided and moves towards the opposite pole. Where in telophase, the two nucleus formation is completely take place. The nuclear membrane or the nucleus apparatus start appearing, and at the end of cytokinesis, the cell is dividing into two daughter cells. Now that cell is again moved towards the G1 phase to continue its cell cycle, or there are some cells which are moving towards the another phase which we call the G0 phase. Now G0 phase is also called the cell arrest phase. Okay, cell arrest phase, or we can say that the non-dividing phase. So there are some cells in our body which are not going to be divided at our lifetime, likewise our neurons. Okay, so these neurons, they all are in the G0 phase. G0 phase is also called the resting phase, in which the cell is completely metabolically active, but it never go inside the S or another kinds of a phases. So that's why G0 phase is the phase in which the cell is completely incapable to divide, but it performs its all the metabolic activities. Okay, now basically the G1 phase is last for 11 hours, the S phase is last for 7 hours, where the G2 phase is last for the 3 hours, and the complete M phase is last for only for 1 hour. So the longest phase of the cell cycle is G1 phase, in which the cell is grow and duplicates its all cell organelle, and the shortest phase of its complete cell cycle is M phase. Now in the M phase, the prophase take around 40 minutes. Okay, where the rest of the phases are taking the 20 minutes. So we can say that in M phase or in the mitosis, prophase is the longest phase. Okay, so there is the complete cell cycle which we are going to discuss. So now these are some important points and terms regarding to the cell cycle which you have to know. So the first one is generation time. So generation time is basically the time gap between the two successive cell division. So the time period between the two cell division is called generation time. Another term is interkinesis. Okay, interkinesis. It is not the interphase, it's a interkinesis, which is basically the time gap between the meiosis 1 and the meiosis 2. So I told you about that the meiosis take place in two parts. First meiosis 1 and another one is meiosis 2. So the time lap between these two meiosis is called interkinesis. Next one, the longest phase of cell cycle is called G1 phase. And the longest phase of mitosis, meiosis or M phase is prophase. Similarly, the shortest phase of mitosis, meiosis or M phase is anaphase. So you have to very much clear the thing that whether the question asked about the cell cycle, so the answer is G1 phase. Whether the question is asked for the mitosis, meiosis or M phase, so the answer is prophase. Okay. The next one is diploid cell. So the next term is diploid cell. The diploid cell basically stands for the cell which has paired chromosome. Likewise our normal body cells. So our body cells, which basically consist of 46 chromosomes, are called diploid cell. Similarly, there is another term called haploid cell. Now haploid cells basically stand for the cell which has unpaired chromosome. Unpaired chromosome, likewise the gametes. As a normal body cell consists 46 or 23 pair of chromosomes, like where the haploid cell consists only 23 chromosomes, not the 23 pairs, because they are formed after the meiosis or the reductional division. That's why haploid cell called unpaired chromosome, and the example haploid cell are gamete, either the ovum or the sperm. So for the learn you have to learn. So for the remember you have to learn from their term. D for diploid and T for double chromosome, means in the pairs. Similarly, H for haploid and H for half number of chromosomes, means only 23. So I have two more points. The first one is meiosis is always occur in diploid cell, which means that meiosis occur only in diploid cell or that kind of cell which having a paired chromosome. The another point is mitosis is basically occur in both, either the case of haploid cell or the diploid cell. So mitosis does not depend upon the number of chromosomes, okay? Because mitosis is a equational division, and the mitosis result the formation of cell or the daughter cell which having the same number of chromosomes. Whereas case of meiosis, it is a reductional one. That's why it only occurs in a diploid cell, because the result of meiosis form the daughter cells which having the half number of chromosomes. So that's all. For more such kind of videos, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.